What's going on, everyone? This is Marcus, and we are here with a team analysis of the team that I used in the Wi-Fi tournament, of which I uploaded so many games. You probably know how this team plays out and what the movesets are. What you don't know are the exact EVs and the exact stats, and yeah, what I thought or what my thoughts were behind it, behind the team. So the two restricted mons were Yveltal and Groudon. And yeah, from day one, from when the rules were announced, I felt that Yveltal got a little bit too few of, like, I don't know, people didn't really give it too much credit. I mean, looking at the stats, it has the exact same stats as Yveltal, as Xerneas, sorry, but obviously it lacks a move like Geomancy, and its, yeah, signature move Oblivion Wing. Really, I mean, it's cool. It has 75% recovery, which is pretty like quite a bit. But apart from that, I mean, it also has Dog Aura, just like Xerneas has Fairy Aura. But yeah, I can understand that people overlooked it a little bit. However, after some testing, I still thought that Yveltal was pretty decent, and I actually wanted to try out a new set since I used a supportive one with Foul Play for quite a bit of time. In this particular tournament, I went with a physical set, so to really test out the power of Dark Aura, Max Attack, Adamant, Life Orb knockoff from Yveltal, which is very, very powerful. And yeah, in the tournament, I don't know, I didn't really feel like Yveltal did that great. I mean, I think in the games I brought it, it was pretty clutch, set up the Tailwind for the victory multiple times, but in this particular team I also had Togekiss and Crobat with both also had Tailwind, so I wasn't reliant on Yveltal for the Tailwind setup. But Priority Sucker Punch is definitely really nice. The strongest priority move in the game. Yeah, very strong, boosted by Dark Aura, boosted by Life Orb, as I said, Adamant, Max Attack. And yeah, the plan with this Yveltal was to basically just set up Tailwind and then sweep. You can see the EVs just pretty straightforward. Actually missing 4 right there in the defense. Max Attack, and then the speed was to outspeed something in Tailwind, I think. But I'm not entirely sure what 248 would do. But I guess there was some logic behind that. However, I mainly just wanted to, yeah, have also some bulk, because as you can see, 126 HP with 95 defense and 98 special defense. That's in total a little bit better than Kangaskhan, and you all know how bulky Kangaskhan can be. I mean, Life Orb obviously is a little bit bad for that, but I made sure that my HP stat is like not like 230, for example, because then you would take extra Life Orb damage, but 228 is just fine. So yeah, that was the Yveltal. As I said, I didn't feel like it was too good. I would probably change it to a variant that has Foul Play, and maybe just, I don't know, Foul Play over Knockoff, I'm not sure, and then take out a little bit of the attack and give it a little bit more speed def or something, and more def, and then yeah, go from there with Foul Play. But Knockoff was nice, and you could see it in the one game where my Yveltal was at -2 attack, but still brought that Thunderous down to its Focus Sash with Knockoff, which was pretty crazy. Next member of the team, and the only Mega, is Morvile right here. The standard moveset, Sucker Punch, Iron Head, Play Rough as 3 attacks. We did see in Gombis' team he opted to go for Knockoff over Play Rough. However, since I had Knockoff on the Yveltal, and since I really like the coverage from Play Rough against, for example, Kyogre switching in, because you can't really punish Kyogre switches with Knockoff, since base power will be only 65. And yeah, in the whole format, Knockoff is a little bit underwhelming in my opinion, because you do have the Primals who have their, yeah, like Red Orb and Blue Orb that you cannot knock off. You do have the Megas, and so most teams have at least 2 Mons that can safely switch in knockoff. And yeah, so, but it's still valuable from time to time, especially against Cresselia, for example. And I think Yveltal's knockoff might even be enough to knock out a Cresselia, depending on the EVs, but yeah, I think it should be able to. So the EVs from Morvile, I gave it 92 speed stat, which is enough to outspeed Mega Rayquaza with max speed in the Tailwind, and then you can outspeed it and one-hit KO it with a Play Rough, which is nice. And then the remainder of the EVs just went into HP with foreign defense and special defense, since yeah, it gives bonus points. But yes, Mobile did a pretty decent job in the tournament, but I felt like my team lacked a little bit of a good answer to Groudon teams that also had speed control. So yeah, that's how we lost against Billa, which was a pretty good set in my opinion. You should definitely check it out if you missed that. But yes, so he also had Tailwind with Groudon, but his Groudon was faster than mine. We will come to that in the end when we will talk about my Groudon. But he had Kangaskhan and I had Mawile. I mean, yeah, sure, Mawile has the advantage against Kangaskhan. However, in this particular matchup, with his Groudon, he could deal, like, he put so much pressure on my Mawile that it could not really fulfill its job, and my main win condition was my own Groudon, but then again, he outsped mine, and so it was pretty difficult. And yeah, in the end, we lost that set. So sorry if I spoiled that for you in case you didn't watch it, but it's still pretty good. And yes, but Mobile in general, I feel like can be it's definitely one of the top 3 megas. Like Kangaskhan is probably still the best, and then there's like Salamence and Mobile fighting for the second spot. But depending on how the metagame evolves, I can also see Mobile, yeah, being up there with Kangaskhan and Salamence in, like, I don't know, like all of them have like equal usage probably. But we'll see how that will work out. Then there's the Togekiss, which is something new I tried out on this team. The EV spread is not really optimized for VGC16 and was just something that I still had in my box from VGC15. So I'm not entirely sure what this does. I just know that 191 HP is 1 below n times 16, since 192 would be dividable by 16, so you take less damage from, well, I mean, I guess Sandstorm and Hail is no longer around, really, with the Primal Weathers. But it's still nice for, I don't know, burn damage and Toxic, for example, so yeah, that is something to keep in mind. However, something that we realized in our game is that Super Fang from Crobat would not activate the Citrus Berry because we have an odd HP stat. So I was thinking maybe I should just even go with 190 instead of 191. Or I could just, I don't know, take out 4 EVs there and go with 192, since once again, Hail and Sandstream really not, I don't know, not popular, and even if they were popular, Groudon's Deserted Land would just shut that down. But I think for the moment 190 would probably be fine. But you can definitely test around with that. Also then something else, you could go with 116 in special defense and get the bonus point. As you know, the nature gives you 10% boost, and since there's no, like, I don't know, like Comata or anything, you have 150, and so it like doesn't round down or anything. But if you have 149 HP and then it's with nature plus 10%, it rounds down to 14 stats, so you would end up with 163, which we can see right now. But if you go, yeah, just one stat more, 8 EVs more, you get that bonus point, but you probably knew about that anyway. So this is probably what I would use if I was to run the Togekiss again, but then again, I would have to run specific calcs against the meta threats. Now, Togekiss was really nice, especially in conjunction with that Groudon. You could set up Tailwind and then follow me any threatening attacks, especially, yeah, following me away, like Earth Power from opposing Groudons was pretty nice, and I liked that quite a bit. And I would definitely recommend trying out Togekiss in this format, especially with, I don't know, like dragon types around. I mean, they're not as relevant as in previous formats, or like, I mean, as they were in 2010, I should say, because last year there weren't that many dragons really. But yeah, the typing is unique and pretty nice. Fairy typing, yeah, just in generally pretty good, and Air Slash in Tailwind can definitely bail you out in some situations, since, yeah, 60% flinch chance as long as you hit is pretty nice. So yeah, Togekiss was definitely not the MVP on the team, but it did pretty good. So then we're coming to Crobat, which is another one I was really interested in running, and it definitely worked out pretty nicely. except for that one game where our opponent had Mental Herb Smeargle, I was able to shut down most Smeargle shenanigans with the combination of Lumberry, Inner Focus, and Taunt. Now you actually need all three of those to effectively counter Kangaskhan plus Smeargle, since you're immune to Fake Out, you are, well, immune to Sleep in case it is a Choice Scarf Smeargle, as they will outspeed you, and then you can taunt them. Now, the most consistent way to stop Smeargle is just to taunt it turn 1, but yeah, I felt like going for the Protect Tailwind against Kangaskhan Smeargle was safe, but then we figured out that that one opponent, I think it was round 3 or something, had Mental Herb on his Smeargle, so then we taunted him, and Mental Herb activated, and yeah, he just Dark Voided us, and that was pretty bad. But nevertheless, I still think, yeah, Crobat pretty safe, setting up the Tailwind against Smeargle and then even taunting it, so that is pretty nice. Quick Guard also a very good move in this format, as there's a lot of Prankster supporters, just like the Leopard we have, but also moves like Extreme Speed from Mega Rayquaza, for example, Sucker Punches from Mawile and Kangaskhan, and yeah, just in general, pretty nice move. Also, yeah, protects you against, for example, Mega Gengar and Whimsicott from time to time, though I'm not sure if leading Crobat is the best choice there, but then again, I mean, I guess you can just Quick Guard and, yeah, Quick Guard, and yeah, basically just make any, I don't know, like Prankster user lose their job, I guess. As for the Wiis, we do have max speed here, which is pretty important, I think, because you want to have at least the speed tie with other Crobats and Mega Gengar, so you can taunt them 50% of the time. And then, this time, yeah, this is just what I had in-game. I would probably switch things up a little bit, going with 191 HP again, and then, I don't know, like 12 defense, for example. However, as we saw in that one game, Kangaskhan's Double Edge knocked us out in one hit, and I was suggested trying out a different spread, which is 20 HP and 236 defense. So that actually lives Double Edge from Jolly Mega Kangaskhan, which is pretty nice, I would say. It's definitely something you could try out. However, it really comes down to what you want to achieve with Crobat and how your team's strategy is set up, because sometimes feinting from a Double Edge is the desired thing, because most of the time against Kangaskhan you can just set up Tailwind, and if they KO you, you would bring in, for example, your Groudon and fire off that Eruption, or, I don't know, bring in your Mawile and play rough them, and so on and so on. So, yeah, sometimes in VGC16, I cannot stress this, like, more, but sometimes you want your supporters to feint in order to get your heavy damage dealers into better positions. But yeah, with this spread you definitely know that you're going to survive. I also think I caught a little bit of different spread that had some more HP. I think it was probably something like this, but don't quote me on that. That also has like a decent chance at surviving while still keeping some HP EVs for special attacks. But you can definitely use the Nugget Bridge damage calculator and come up with a good spread yourself. Now, speaking about good spreads, this is definitely not a good spread. I just saw this while going over my game. I thought I had a different one, but yeah, here I do have just max HP, max speed, and we will just try to come up with a better spread in a minute. But let's talk about the moveset. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this. I think with Crobat, the only move you can actually switch up is probably Quick Guard. You could try to go with Protect there, for example, but I would not really recommend it. I think it needs all 4 moves to fulfill its role. So, yeah, I don't know. If you have better suggestions, then leave them in the comments, but I think, yeah, those 4 moves is what worked best for me in the past and what you should probably try out first. Maybe, depending on your team, I don't know, maybe you already have 2 users with Taunt, but then you probably don't even need Crobat. So yeah, basically just stick to the set. So, Leopard's set, as we saw with Gone-based team that I also featured on this channel in the past, he did have Thunder Wave on his Leopard. Now, while I thought that was an interesting switch up with the triple Tailwind actually, wow, this is so crazy. You probably don't need triple Tailwind. But yes, I didn't feel it was necessary, and I opted to go with Encore and Taunt here instead. Taunt pretty nice, shutting down Trick Room, and yeah, just in general pretty helpful at, yeah, stopping your opponent's supporters. Foul Play, very reliable damage dealer, especially in conjunction with that Yveltal's Dark Aura ability. However, you have to watch out from time to time. Switching in Mobile with Intimidate will make it so that you will just barely miss KOs with Foul Play, which I think also happened in some of my games. Not sure if it was in the Wi-Fi tournament, but yeah, I definitely had that happen. Encore with Prankster is an amazing tool to disrupt your opponent, you know, stop them from, yeah, or like just scare them out of using Protect, and if they dare to Protect in front of Leopard, you can either Encore them or, I don't know, just punish the switch with a Foul Play, for example. In general, Leopard pretty strong in my opinion. It needs the Focus Sash to fulfill its role, and then we still gave it max HP, so this is what I was like stumbling across over a little bit before, but okay, so with Leopard there's two things you could improve. The first thing, since its defense stats are so low, it's actually more efficient to drop a little bit of HP and to go with more defenses. I think this is the perfect spread you want to achieve. Or maybe it's like this. So there is a tool that I've used in the past for a little bit to check the check the efficiency of my spreads. It was created by an Italian player, I believe, and actually for DPP-OU singles. So, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even more. And it's this neat little tool right here that I will also link in the description. But basically what this does is it calcs you defensive splits. Now, yeah, this is a tool and it's one of, I don't know, like, not the main things that I would say was like behind my success in recent years, but it definitely added to it, at least sometimes, because if you're able to get yourself a little bit of a feeling for the maths behind Pokemon, that is definitely something you want to have if you want to be a very good player. And yeah, it had a dex here, but it's only mons from like the first 4 generations, so we are already 2 above that. But basically you type in the stats right here, as you can see. EVs left, well, we already have max EVs in speed, so we only have 256 left, but yeah, those last 4 don't make a difference, so I'll just put 252. Our IVs are all max, but our level is level 50. There are no effects, I mean, our special defense is not boosted, there's no Intimidate in play whatsoever, and our nature is neutral in this case because we are running a timid nature. So yeah, this gives me 132 HP, 60 def, 60 speed def actually. So okay, we will do that. And this is actually the most efficient spread you can go for on Leopard. Now you're asking, but why? I mean, HP, they help both the physical and the special bulk. Yes, that's true, but as I said, Leopard's HP are in comparison with its defense bases is like so high that it doesn't really help as much. As you can see here, Leopard starts out with 70 defense with no EVs, and those 60 EVs obviously are translated to 8 stat points, but I mean, while 8 stat points is not that much, in comparison to the 70 we started with, that's actually a boost of over 10%. So yeah, that really helps here, and yeah, gives you just like, I mean, it's like a nature boost on the defense. However, those 60 EVs in like HP, they just don't do as much. While, I mean, that's not the only thing, or like not the only factor that plays into this. I guess it's at least something where you can try to understand it a little bit how the math behind the calcs works. But yeah, as I said, just play a little bit around with this damage calc, or like not damage calc, but defense effort values efficiency calculator, I guess, made by Mr. Pokemon and mating with. There's also like a Smogon thread if you really want to dig down that theory and go deep into that, but yes, it's a lot of theory in that thread. So yeah, that is definitely interesting. It's also something that applies on Smeargle, for example. I think on Smeargle, well, with Smeargle it's like yeah, it's like another story, because there you have Transform, and actually you like to be able to keep your HP as high as possible, but the most efficient spread on Smeargle also has like not max HP. So yeah, that's probably the one thing that you should learn from this video, besides the fact that this Yveltal set is not that great in my opinion, and that you should probably try to have even numbers on your citrus mons because of Super Fang from Corobit. And then the third thing, as I said, test this calculator, and it really served me well over the past couple of years and is a very interesting tool. So the other thing you can do is just, yeah, scrap the special bulk entirely, because you're going to live most hits with Sash anyway. So the only thing that you're really afraid of with this leopard is probably Kangaskhan. Now, going into the Nugget Bridge damage calculator, and if we put in Kangaskhan right here, I'm not entirely sure if Power Up Punch is like fixed there and if it does the right amount of damage, but maybe it does, and maybe it doesn't. Yeah, no, you know what, maybe it does. Okay, so, but, then again, so I think, do you have a shot at living return with max HP? Probably not. I thought there was something that you could survive with max def, because I saw that on like a Japanese spread. Ooh, you could survive a low kick though, couldn't you? Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Sometimes, if you're... Okay, so if you're a Kangaskhan player and you're up against the leopard, and your moveset is double edge, fake out, sucker punch, and low kick, you don't want to take all the recoil, do you? So if you go for if you go for the double edge on the standard leopard, you will definitely knock it out. If you go for the double edge on the max defense leopard, you're also going to knock it out. But as I said, you will take a lot of recoil. Now, if you're going for the low kick on the standard dish, I would say, max HP leopard, you have a 98% chance of knocking it out through the focus sash while not taking any recoil whatsoever. So that's pretty nice, right? But if you're up against this max defense leopard, you will only have a 2.7% chance to 1-hit KO it. So basically leopard will live this low kick. So yeah, this could be a reason why some Japanese players opted to go with max defense in the leopard. Yes, as I said, you're going to survive any special move anyway thanks to the focus sash, and the only thing that hits twice is basically that parental bond Kangaskhan. Now, we could try to check how well our new spread for leopard would take that low kick. And yeah, with low kick, since it's super effective and hits twice, it actually has like a greater chance of KOing. But yeah, we'll just trust the calculator for this, that it is actually more efficient to run 132 HP and 60 defense. So yeah, check out the calculator, play around with it a little bit. I think it's a pretty interesting thing. And so yes, I guess I want to go with max defense on my leopard in the future. And yeah, so if you're up against the leopard with your Kangaskhan, then in the future you have to, I don't know, either go for the double edge to take it out, but then you'll take a lot of recoil. Especially if they are max HP, you will take even more recoil. So it's really a difficult situation. I didn't even think about that before recording the video, because if they have max HP, since you're taking recoil dependent on how much damage you do, you will actually take quite a bit more damage from the recoil with double edge. Or you can just try your luck with low kick, but then if it's max defense leopard, you will fail to KO it. So, enough with this EV theory, but let's come to the last member of the team, which is Groudon. The EV spread was taken from Gonbei's team, who ran it like this, I believe, but I just gave it one more speed in case some of the other Germans were trying to, yeah, like copy that team and didn't put much thinking into this. Once again, how much does that reach? Yeah, it's quite high. I'm not entirely sure what this would outspeed, but probably like Mewtwo? Maybe, I'm not sure. But yeah, just in general, once again, 191 HP, once again, 1 below 16 times N, so yeah, less damage from Toxic, I guess. And then the remainder of the EVs are put into special attack. I did not want to go with Iron Head once again, but instead I ran Fire Blast, since, I don't know, I felt like Iron Head didn't really help me in my games, and I do have Mawile on this team, as well to stop Xerneas, and Fire Blast is a nice option to have a shot at KOing, or basically always KOing Kangaskhan if they just took a little bit of damage from, I don't know, like a double-edged recoil for example, or if you got off an Air Slash with Togekiss or a Sucker Punch with either Mawile or Yveltal or what do I know. But yeah, that was kinda nice, helped me in the tournament as well, but I think Flamethrower might probably be the better choice here. But yeah, time will show. And Eruption, obviously crazy powerful, sun boosted, stab, very strong. You should definitely watch out for special Groudon in the future. So yeah, this was the team. I enjoyed running it, but I felt like maybe we had too many supporters here. 3 supporters, I don't know. Generally I do not like supporters or like dedicated supporters as much, and I prefer teams where you have like defensive switching options and yeah, like natural bulk and can pivot into things. But I think in this format, at least at this point, it's pretty damn difficult to have a team that achieves that. So yeah, at the moment I'm still relying on my supporters, and that's just how it is. But maybe I can come up with something that is not as reliant on, I don't know, like Focus Sash Leopard that just faints so quickly, you know. And yep, so this is the team. You'll also find a full pace spin with the updated EV spreads in the description, and in case you liked it, make sure to leave a like or comment, and yeah, see you next time, and Merry Christmas, bye.